game performance. Today we'll be going over how to develop the skills for ankle breaking cuts with explosiveness, all right? So I'm Coach Isaiah. This here's my boy Steven, aka S. Wade. He's a running back and linebacker for the Denver Warriors and Fairview High School. As you can see, he's in a sling fresh off a labrum surgery from the last football season, but we already back in here training, going hard. We're gonna go over strength, power, technique, and reactiveness for developing those explosive cuts. He won't be able to do all the exercises, but you'll see that even with the injured shoulder, he'll be able to do at least 1 or 2 exercises from every category. Meaning, even with an injury, there's no excuse not to be up in your game. My boy's getting ready for next season, ready to knock some heads off and get those scholarships rolling in.
Let's go.
I see. You ready?
Yes, sir, let's go.
We've all seen it, man. From crazy explosive athletes like Iverson to Christian McCaffrey. Athletes so elite with such explosive cuts, they can just break down their defender and make power moves out in the game. As coaches, we all want this for our athlete. But the question I typically get is, where do I begin? So in this video, we're gonna run you from the basics all the way to the application, from building the unilateral and bilateral strength and power necessary to perform these cuts at a high degree to begin with, to drills that'll actually teach them the proper mechanics of cutting, to reactive drills that are going to teach them to have to make a cut on the spot, just like you're going to see in these in-game situations. So the first exercise we got is a suitcase squat. This allows Steven to get a lot of depth without having to hold a bar on his shoulders or back. You can see how he's standing on 2 even boxes, just dipping down in between, holding that kettlebell in his good arm. Another important exercise for building the leg strength, one that I would consider the king of exercises, is back squats. Front squats work too. Here, essentially, we're trying to build strength through full depth. I know quarter squats can help with vert, but when it comes to hard cuts, being able to be strong with the hips low is going to make all the difference. Then of course you got your deadlifts. Similar to the back squat, except now you're going to get a little more lower back end. Once that knee passes, or the bar passes the knees, squeeze those glutes to drive the hips forward. Get a lot more hip strength developed through your triple extension here. Again, teaching those legs to be strong while we're down low. Can't forget about single leg exercises. A lot of times when we run in and cutting, we find ourselves performing off of 1 leg at a time. Here you can see my boy Steven doing these pistol squats. Last exercise, lateral lunge, building that strength through a lateral plane. See how I'm pushing off that outside leg as if that's the leg I'm getting that push off from during my cut. So you can see I'm getting the same leg angle as Steven when he was doing the cuts. So what I'm doing is overloading this leg to improve my lateral strength to push off of that leg when I change directions. To make this more advanced, if this is pretty easy, we can add in a power press hold. So we engage the core, it works on anti-rotation. That way, when I'm making a quick cut, I have better core stability and my form doesn't break down. So to do this, you're just gonna extend the arms out, lock the core so it doesn't let you twist, and then back into your lateral lunge. When we look at the energy systems that we touch on, everything here is really gonna be in the phosphocreatine and glycolytic energy systems. We're not going more than a couple seconds to maybe 20 seconds of work. The cuts themselves, sometimes even a fraction of a second. So teaching the muscle fibers to be super explosive and reactive is gonna be one of our primary concerns here. First exercise we got for power is skaters. You can see how Steven's quickly planning and pushing his momentum back in the other direction. Skaters are really what we do a lot of times when we cut. All right, so now we're gonna up the intensity a little bit, put some resistance, so he's gotta find some extra power. So when he's out on that field with that momentum, he's gotta cut quick and explosive to break off that defender. He's got to find a large ability in that outside leg to absorb and then redirect his body's momentum. So I'm just going to put this band around his waist. I'm going to move with him so I give some resistance but not enough to mess up his technique. So you can see on that first step I gave a little too much resistance, so I eased up. Just adding that rate of force absorption in his planning and driving leg. Last exercise, skaters with the med ball pass. Now I have to absorb and redirect the momentum of the ball, making my body weight that much easier in a fast game situation. All right, so now you've developed the strength and power you need. So what you gonna do with it? Boom! Develop the technique and form. Without the proper mechanics and knowledge of how to perform certain types of cuts, all that strength and power really ain't doing you no good. It'd be like building a big engine and not having no vehicle to put it in. So let's build that vehicle and start breaking some ankles. All right, on this next drill, we're gonna do what's called a V cut. You see how we've got the 3 cones set? I'm gonna have Steven start at one, explode towards the second one, and make a cut necessary to get to that third. We're gonna start with more of a shallow angle like this, then we're gonna switch it to a lot more drastic angle so you can see the difference in how he's gotta lower those hips, where his foot's gonna place to make the cut. So here you see him doing more of a shallow cut. Hips stay pretty high, still gets that foot out to get a good push off. Brings that inside leg, nice jab step underneath him to accelerate. Bop. Here on a deeper cut, you'll see how he drops his hips more, gets more of a lean, just so he can handle that momentum and make a tighter angle. Jabs under beautifully, accelerating out. Top one you can see the shallower, more shallow cut, bottom one the deeper cut. You can see a little more angle in his shins and his hips are down lower. Both cuts he gets that foot out, jabs under and explodes. Now we got him doing the pro agility drill, coming from a side shuffle in the beginning to a quick cut to a really hard 180-degree cut. Getting that body low, nice shin angles. Here he's going lateral hurdle speed steps to a quick cut on that outside. Teach himself to bounce back when running or moving in a lateral direction. Oh, you get that done? Cool. Now let's make this more like an in-game situation. It's time to learn how to react. So check out this reaction drill. I step one direction, he's got to quickly respond by cutting to the other. Boom! Makes that cut before I even get my foot down. Ankle breaker. Let's go.